Hi, this is Kaushik,
And this is Deepti.
and today we have come to you with a new topic. But before that, I just like to introduce myself. I identify as a cis gay man, and I'm based out of Bangalore. And Deepti, would you like to go?
Yeah, so I'm a cis woman. I identify as queer, and I've been live in Bangalore, but I've been associated with the Chennai queer space since 2011.
Yeah. And so this is our third episode, and we would like to make it clear that we acknowledge all our privileges, both in terms of caste and economic status, social standing, etc., and our sexuality as well. And we'd like to specify that these are whatever we discuss, both of us, are purely based on our opinions and our views alone.
Yeah, we talk a lot of queer topics, but then we don't claim to represent the whole of queer community or Indian queer community as such. And the intention is to just start a conversation and not to hurt or offend anybody. Anything a lot of you guys know us, just ping, let us know. Feedback is always welcome. So
Yes.
today's topic is queer representation in Indian cinema. We're going to do it part by part. So today the focus would be on gay men. So when we say gay men, we mean AMAB, assigned male at birth individuals who are attracted to other men, because
Mm,
obviously there is no representation of trans man
mm,
who can be gay on screen anyway. So
yeah.
the predominant focus will be AMAB men who are
Mm,
attracted to AMAB individuals who are attracted to other men.
yeah. And since Deepti has specified that, also I'm outside having a walk, so you might hear some vehicular traffic. And I hope it's not too loud. It's okay, no, Deepti?
Yeah, yes, it's fine.
Yeah. So this topic is a bit close to my heart. With growing up as a queer person and as a gay man in particular, I've always found this issue a bit, a bit controversial, and it's something that I resonate with because I grew up primarily in the late 90s and early 2000s. So, I mean, I would say till the age I was till the time I was 14 or 15, and most of my experience has largely been negative, especially in terms of portrayal of gay men in movies. Right, and I would like to make an important distinction here. Uh, there has been portrayal of effeminate characters in movies for a long time, and uh, trans women characters as well. I wouldn't go into that in today's discussion. I would stick to explicitly, characters which were explicitly announced as gay. So,
Which is
yeah, so
very
my,
less, yeah.
which is quite less, and
Yeah.
whenever it has been, it's mainly done on two terms. The first one is to show to act as a counter force to the heroes or the primary characters' masculinity. To kind of to show an opposition to the hero's macho masculine character, or secondly as a villain or someone in a negative shape. Like for example, the first example that really comes to my mind in this case is Vettayadu Vilayadu. It was a Tamil movie released in 2005 or 6.
Yeah, I think 2005. I think 2005, yeah.
Yeah, it was a blockbuster hit, and I remember the movie doing really well. Yeah, and we actually went to watch that movie in a theater. By then, I had already identified as, I think to myself at least, as gay. And when I saw that movie, I was completely taken aback. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, the two main antagonists in the movie, Ilamaran and Amuda, they both are shown to be gay. But they do something that is completely, against whatever. I mean, you show them as gay and you show them as serial killers who murder women. Like, yeah. And what kind of twisted, cruel logic is that? Like,
no, yeah. I mean the whole punch in the thing was that Kamal Hassan's dialogue, right, where he says that I think was Like,
yeah, you know what he exactly says? He says, oh, even the homosexuals, you know,
with that
like,
kind of anger, disgust somewhere there, right?
yeah, and this is really funny later. Like, he rips open one of the guy's shirts, and at the back he sees a tattoo of the other guy's name,
Okay.
and he automatically assumes they are homosexual. And
Oh.
obviously, yeah, but for all intents and purposes, it means they are. And he attributes this, that is them being homosexual, to the reason for their pathological, what to say, this kind of mental disease they have where they go around killing women. I mean, it's kind of dumb. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, it's like, it's very similar to how it is when trans women are shown as negative. You know, the community already faces a lot of backlash in every sense, and then you end up putting such a negative role to such a marginalized community. That's such a horrible thing to do. And I think on the flip side, what something like Dostana had done was equally disturbing.
Equally cringy, more than
Cringy?
disturbing.
Yeah. I mean, I think growing up, I wouldn't say growing up, but then at least in the South, one of the good representation I would say is Goa, right? A
The Tamil
senior
movie
actor,
that released.
yeah.
Tamil movie released in 2010, by the way. If people want to check it out, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, that's somewhere the difference between how South represented versus North. I think mostly there has never been explicitly said, and the few that were said, one good one is Goa, one horrible one is Vettiyadu Vilayadu. But apart from that, even now, I don't think we have any well represented. I mean, when I say South again, I don't think I want to talk about Kerala industry because they have their own standards and they've done really good there. But then I'm again not too sure about Karnataka and Kannada industry and how.
Like, I live in Bangalore and I have some exposure to Kannada films, but I think Kannada, Tamil and Telugu, they follow the same pattern where they show someone effeminate and use it as a comedic relief.
Yeah, I mean, even if they do identify, I mean, a couple of Telugu movies that I can remember where somebody is explicitly said as gay is also again used as, somewhere the comedy or somewhere the cringy seduction theme is there. We still in South, apart from Goa, I think, again, would you categorize that Arvind Swami's movie Dear Dad? That is again Tamil plus Hindi, but I don't know if the maker is Tamilian. I don't know if we can completely say that's a Tamil movie, but I think
and also that came
well.
Quite later, 2015 or 16,
16, I think.
So,
but then, I mean, I'm just generally talking about representation.
Okay, sorry, there's suddenly too much traffic. Like, when I was walking earlier, it was fine.
Yeah, but then Telugu has always been cringy stuff.
Whatever. There are these bromance type characters in Telugu, I'm sure, but never any other type.
Oh, they're all, I think they'll all, if you point out, oh, there is bromance there, they'll be like, oh, no homo dude kind of tone, right? So obviously they don't want you interrupted as anything sexual. But yeah, anyways.
If you remember the Mada kind of characters that came back late, way back in 60s and 70s.
Yeah, I mean,
there's this particular actor, I don't know his name, who's famous for doing this kind of role. Like,
I think after a point, they started doing so many of those roles, they're called as Mada. And if I look back, I mean, I've seen some of those stuff growing up, and it's just very cringy because like you said, it's either for comedic relief or, villain ke side mein the person is there giving them all manipulative ideas. It's very cringy stuff. And the thing about those characters is they don't exactly tell you if they're gay or trans. Maybe they don't believe in
they leave it. I don't think they themselves knew it, the makers. Right? True. They just kind of didn't bother to research, or at that time maybe even just use it as a prop. Use this character as a prop. Like.
Yeah, I mean, it was more on those levels, but like you said, didn't bother to, but then just wanted to give like a femininity layer and then the complete negative layer
Mm.
to that particular role. I
Mm.
don't think it's a north thing, but it's a very south thing, especially
Mm.
Karnataka, Andhra, and Tamil Nadu industries
Mm.
have had a lot
Yeah,
of it.
because at different points in time there was this kind of character who would always be
Yeah.
there in movies as a side character. Uh,
Yeah, but I think
yeah.
most of the North ones which had similar roles also were explicitly said as trans versus
Mm.
versus the bromance that you were talking about. Two clear instances. This is not growing up. This is much later after I realized I was queer, and then I was looking up stuff, and then I randomly bumped into things like that song from Main Khiladi Tu Anari, which had Saif Ali Khan and Akshay Kumar dancing. It's so it's so मतलब there is
Cringy.
I
Cringy.
I don't know if I should say cringy because if you look at it, you would cringe because they are two straight men, apparently, heterosexual men dancing. But I
Mm.
don't know. I would just say it's very erotic, and I would leave it at that.
Mm.
And
Mm.
another thing that I can think of is this Anil Kapoor and Sunny Deol song from this movie called Ram Avatar. So I've showed this song
Okay.
to so many of my friends. This is like, again, this also I wouldn't say cringy. It's just it's a very romantic space. So these two guys,
Bromantic.
correct,
Mm.
romantic, because this is like two friends, I suppose, meeting after like really long time, and they're on this huge hill and huge frame, and they're like running on the hill in slow motion. I was like, this is cute, but this is I don't know what to categorize. I mean, bromantic
Yeah,
is what I would say. So these are like
I know.
little things that are like gay coded with stuff.
Yeah. Could you just explain what gay coding is?
No, gay coding is basically it's all said as the heterosexual setup, heteronormative setup. But then there
Mm.
are these things that I suppose only gay people will be able to pick up, or
Ah.
so things like that, where there are these characters which have like 4 or 5 lines. I'll talk about one more when we do the queer woman thing. So
Mm.
there are these little things that happen, but nobody really picks them up. But then the character is meant to be gay,
Mm.
but they're not explicitly said, of course.
Mm.
I'll talk more about this when we do the queer woman episode.
Yeah, yeah. To be honest, these kind of gay coding or bromance roles, growing up, I saw a lot of them. I don't even remember in what movie,
Okay.
but I did see a lot of them.
Hmm.
And my reaction to them would be like growing up, I was definitely not happy with that also because it seemed like, the hero is obviously straight. He'd be chasing a woman. At the same time, they'll be doing all this nautanki or with men. And it just seemed very fake and not natural. I guess that was the intention. Like this sort of, they want to elicit this kind of reaction from the normal audience, which is funny. But to someone like me who's actually going up there, it just seemed cringy and off-putting.
No, I think what you're saying is also right in the sense if they give it like that funny background, so the audience would be like, oh, this is supposed to be funny, or this is supposed to be, this is bad, so it's funny. Right. But
Yeah,
then,
it's like they were invisibilizing my experience. Like, yeah.
no, they were clearly making the experience for you horrible. But then the thing that I'm talking about, I think what you're talking about, what I can relate to that is there's this movie called Andaz Apna Apna, something that I thoroughly enjoyed. It came back in '94, but then it's something I've always enjoyed watching. I've watched it like so many times. But one cringe part in that movie for me was this song. It's a it's not a great song, but all the other songs are brilliant. But then this song is like this weird song where Salman Khan and Amir Khan are going in a bus to a place to see the heroines, whatever, and then everybody
Mm.
in the bus is dancing, whatever is happening, and
Mm.
there's this random one person in the bus who's wearing, I think, a printed shirt and a pink pants, and they're shown as
Mm.
effeminate, dancing
Mm.
around with the whole crowd, not like,
Mm.
they're put next to the hero or anything, dancing around,
Mm.
but very effeminate. I was like,
Mm.
why would you have it?
Well, why was it even required? I think apart
Exactly.
from just eliciting a few laughs, I guess that's the only intention. Right?
Exactly.
Mm.
And I think that is different from the gay coding or the bromance that I'm talking about. Here,
Okay, I understand. Yeah.
yeah, so
Mm.
that's the difference. I mean, here the feminine person is deliberately put there to get a reaction,
Mm.
which is
Mm.
most often a very problematic thing, whether it's
Yeah.
negative shade that we were talking about, or the comedic angle, or to somewhere boost
Yeah.
the heroes, whatever.
In this case, I would like to say, yeah, as I said, Metalhead was the first movie where two characters are explicitly shown to be gay. Of course, they're shown to be pathological murderers as well.
Yeah.
And the second one would be Dostana. I think you'd like to talk more about Dostana.
I don't think
Yeah.
there's much to talk about Dostana. I would
Yeah,
rather talk about something well done. Like, I don't know. I
yeah.
mean, one of the well done gay representation, I would say, is My Brother Nikhil. As to my memory, one of the
Oh,
first
yes,
ones.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, this was
Mm.
like before the verdict, but then obviously it's a very indie kind of movie. It's not something a lot of people, even watched, I suppose. I
Definitely
think,
not mainstream, yeah.
yeah, definitely not. It was still in that indie parallel cinema circuit. But then
Mm.
one of the mainstream ones that was done right, I think, Kapoor and Son.
2014?
Quite late, yes,
Mm.
but
Mm.
yeah, I
Quite,
think,
the portrayal was pretty sensitive. Right?
yeah.
Mm.
And we still didn't have one Indian hero do it. We had to bring a Pakistani hero to do that role.
Yeah, yeah, which I found. Yeah, but he's very hot, by the way.
Oh, he is, absolutely. Oh, then
Okay, so.
another movie that I would like to just touch upon is Memories in March by uh, Sanjay Nag was the director, and it had Deepti Nawal and Rupanito Ghosh. If people haven't seen
Mm.
it, I think even you, Kaushik, I don't think you've seen it.
I'm
It's
not sure. Mm.
yeah, it's a heavy movie, but then I felt it was very sensitively done.
Okay.
And then of course there is Aligarh also, which had done really well.
Yeah, Ramchandra Srivastava. Very tragic story, but was portrayed very
Yeah,
realistic. You know.
yeah, that is true. That is true.
Mm.
And then early
And
on, I remember even Honeymoon Travels.
okay. Well, it was okay. I mean, it didn't really register to me while growing up, but yeah, in retrospect, I can figure out like it was a decent portrayal.
Yeah, yeah, I'm talking
Mm.
about the decent portrayal. And
Yeah.
do you remember the one story in Bombay Talkies, Rani
Yes,
Mukherjee?
yes, yes. Mm.
That I think was
Yeah.
also quite, like, I think that was still, Bombay Talkies was still pretty mainstream, and not too not too early on, also 2013, I think.
Captured quite well. Captured quite
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
that was the good part of it.
Because Rani's angst is very well captured. Like.
Yeah. She's
Mm.
problematic but good in her acting. So yeah, that
Yeah.
was quite well. But
Mm.
again, my complaint would still be about the three southern states which are not doing any justice. But then, whereas Malayalam industry, I've not seen Muthan yet, but I've heard great stuff about it in terms of
Mm.
representation. I think that other one, Mumbai Police Prithviraj one, also got quite good reviews in terms of representation, if I'm not wrong. I
Oh,
never got
I've
around to
heard a lot
watching
of
that
good
one.
things about Malayalam, but I haven't watched any prominent one. I think I should. Maybe I'll take a few pointers from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Whereas the other
how do you
industries.
think after the verdict? Not after the verdict, or just before the verdict also. Oh, we forgot to talk about Made in Heaven.
Oh yeah, Made in
Mm.
Heaven. Yeah, the representation was quite good in that sense.
Yeah, I liked it too. Though the actor, Arjun Mathur, I
Arjun.
think his name,
Hmm.
straight, identifies as straight, but he's done some queer, he's acted in indie movies and short films
Hmm.
also before, I think. I think twice or thrice he's portrayed queer roles, and I think he did a good job. I mean, where one, they didn't show him to be very effeminate.
Yeah.
Two, the whole issue around him getting caught and all was pretty realistic. Slightly dramatized, but yeah. But I think Deepthi, you had a small problem with that, like.
No, I mean the whole. I mean, again, portrayal wise, it's pretty good. The getting caught part, when you say dramatic, I would agree. I think TV needs some of it, and then maybe on the same level, they could have slightly maybe, the part where they show that he went out and did the PIL and got everything done, got the whole court thing done, was like, it's not that easy. People worked around it for like 15, 20 years. It just doesn't happen with one PIL.
Did they actually show that he gets the law in action or something? No, right?
I think he joins a bunch of them. I think that's how they show it. But
okay.
For some reason, it wasn't quite convincing. Maybe we can just say, they needed to dramatize it so they have that.
Yeah.
Could be. You could just put it in that box.
But I also liked how they didn't make it a big deal. Apart from these episodes, where he was caught and all.
True.
They didn't make it a big deal otherwise, and
True.
Just kind of brought it up. Brought up very casually.
True. I think more problematic than that for me was Shubh Mangal Zyada Savdhan.
Oh yeah, I was waiting to talk about this in the end. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you want to go first? I mean, because I haven't seen it as such. I've seen bits of it and I'm like, I'm done.
So. I've seen it. Yeah. I wasn't willing to go initially to the movie because the trailer itself was, to me, it seemed very cringy. And I'm sorry I say this because a lot of people loved the trailer and loved the movie, created a lot of hype. Right? And for a lot of gay men who've grown up watching masala Bollywood movies, this movie was a treat, I guess, because it kind of had all the masala elements, and it showed very casually the relationship between two guys, and they kind of normalized it for them. Why I didn't like it in particular was there's nothing unique about it. If you replace like whatever drama was around the entire thing, you replace the Jitendra's character, Jitendra Kumar's character with another Bollywood starlet, nothing would have changed. I don't think it really captured the chemistry or the angst,
No, they didn't. I guess they didn't go too deep into emotions and everything.
Yeah, it's just like a Bollywood movie.
They just literally mainstreamed a queer movie with literally normalized it for exclusively for Bollywood audience, I think.
Yes, and I agree we need movies like that, and it gets the conversations going, intellectual conversations, etc. But I also feel it trivializes the issue sometimes. And also,
No, matlab, they're trying to normalize and mainstream it for a set of audience, which is nice. But I think that's not we need that kind of movies also maybe somewhere because we have that kind of audience, diverse audience, get all kinds of stuff.
No, even members from the community, as I said, loved it because it was what they've been waiting for some time. Yeah.
True. I mean, growing up, we were discussing the other day that growing up, they would all look at hero-heroine romance and, they would be like, yeah, I wish I see a boy and a boy romance like this. So this is exclusively for them. Diverse audience and diverse kind of stuff. But like I was telling you, the one bit that I saw, because here at home, everybody was watching it and they were like, oh, do you want to watch it? I was like, no, I'm not a big fan of the movie. not really into watching it, but I'll probably join at some point. So when I was having dinner,
Mm.
I sat down, and I think it was right
Mm.
towards the end of the movie where somebody was, I think it was a lawyer or a cop or somebody who was telling,
Cop. Oh, yeah,
oh, cop,
I know the part
huh.
you're talking about. Yeah.
So he's like, being gay is a crime, but the court had overturned it. I'm like, yeah, you're adding masala, you're, Bollywoodizing the movie, but then at least get the facts right. Being gay was
Yeah.
never crime, right? I mean, just get the facts right
Yeah.
at least. So that was
Yeah,
kind of,
and I had this experience, or I heard of this experience where a couple of members from the community called out Aishman
hmm,
for doing this, and didn't respond very positively. Like, he actually didn't see what the issue was.
okay. Is this, oh yeah, and I think around the same movie also there was a conversation about cishet people playing queer roles, right? There was
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of conversation around before the release of the movie.
Mm.
What do you think about it? What do you think about cishet people stealing air quotes queer roles?
A couple of years ago, if you had asked me, I would have said it's appropriating gay characters for their own benefit. If you said people playing it. But now I have a more nuanced view where I think it is okay for mainstream cishet actors to play queer roles, provided they do basic research and have someone queer as a consultant or someone in the team who can actually tell them, at least not to make these basic errors, right?
Yeah,
And we should also acknowledge that a lot of these cishet actors have this privilege and power to
yeah.
draw audiences, which probably a budding gay star wouldn't have.
Hmm.
So I think, yeah, so I see why studios would be willing to cast cishet characters as gay men for their
Hmm.
draw and pull, which I agree, but they should be a bit more sensitive. Like, should have a proper team, man. I mean, how difficult it is to get two queer people on board, two or three queer people on board, to talk to them about their experiences. Because in Submangal Yadav Sadhan, I don't think it was done because it was quite evident it wasn't done. It just
Okay.
seemed like that we placed the female role with the
Hmm.
other gay guy, all the drama, family drama dynamics.
Because
And all. What do you think, Deepti?
no, I mean when it comes to representation, Made in Heaven, I think I think they did collaborate, but whatever they had a good representation, although it was a cishet man playing the role. There
Mm-hmm.
wasn't this layer of a gay man has to be effeminate to convey that the
Mm-hmm.
person is gay, because that is something I saw in a Telugu movie. I did tell you about this movie called, I think, Nartanasala,
Yes. We talked about it a
2018, I
couple.
think. I
Mm-hmm.
browsed through a few scenes because it was pretty cringe, and I remember trying to watch it like a year back or something, and I stopped halfway because it got too cringy. So in that
Mm-hmm.
movie, what they is literally making them behave effeminate, and then everybody else is
Mm-hmm.
kind of convinced that, oh, you know this person is gay. They used a different word which didn't make sense to me, but yeah, like you said, absolutely agree with the fact that in an ideal world, I believe that lived experiences transition
Mm-hmm.
better on screen. But then the point
Mm-hmm.
about studios wanting somebody big, and even as long as it is done sensitively and they do collaborate with people, collaborate or consult with the right people, get their facts right
Mm-hmm.
and
I mean,
do
get
it
basic facts right.
sensitively.
You don't have to
Yeah,
screw up basic facts. Yeah.
yeah, basic
Mm-hmm.
facts like being gay is not crime and all gay men are not effeminate kind of a
Mm-hmm.
thing. I think as long as they get that right, I think
Mm-hmm.
it's I mean, who am I to say it's fine, it's not fine, but I think I personally I will be willing to watch provided they do
Me
justice.
too.
They
Me too. Me too.
do
Yeah.
it sensitively, not
There
cringy.
is another category of people that I came across, especially amongst my friends, queer friend circle, who are like, you know what, we should give Bollywood a break because all the queer movies we see in art festivals, the art circuit are very, all of them are very depressing, and they have this somber tone. So it's okay to have a celebratory film for once. I like, I agree I see where they're coming from, but again, sensitivity is important.
No, I absolutely see where they're coming from because we were talking about my brother Nikhil. Just imagine, I don't know, if somebody like Shah Rukh Khan or Salman Khan or Amir Khan would have done that movie back then, would it still be an indie movie? Would it still be a parallel cinema? It wouldn't have been.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
So this
I'm getting the paradox. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think the reason why people don't dare do it back then, at least, was it that, oh, what will my fan base think?
Mm-hmm.
Now I think it's easier for this guy to do it because he has that thing in his movies that he does something different already. Although he messes up something major, but he picks up different movies. So this is
different topics. This guy is known for picking all the juicy, controversial subjects, and he's done a fairly decent job, I feel, of the previous stuff Ayushmann has done. But yeah, obviously it was a bit more sensitive.
You can't just blame him. It's also the producers, it's also the writers, it's also the directors, the whole team that puts the movie together. Somebody should have the sensitivity, but apparently not. But then, yeah.
So I'll tell you an anecdote. We were watching the movie, and my straight friend actually, I've taken one of my closest, AFAB straight friends to the movie. She was like, I can't stand it. Let's just go.
Oh God!
And I asked her why. She's like, do you even like this? Do you like the way they're representing you? It's so Bollywoody. Yeah. So that's just So we walked out in the lunch break, and turns out it didn't get any better afterwards also. So.
You guys are not the audience. That would be my point for that.
I know. We're just coming back to that one. I was just telling this in passing.
Yeah.
So I also remember one incident. Growing up, there was this Tamil serial which ran for a long time. Although we're talking about film, I wanted to also bring this up. There's a very prominent character who's queer.
Oh, what's the name? I just remember series?
Kolangal.
Okay.
Kolangal. So it's called Rajendra Mama. So he's like a relative of the principal protagonist.
Okay.
And this is from 2003, okay? And surprisingly, he was shown to be effeminate and doing a lot of, housework, resting himself to the house. But it wasn't overtly, funny or discriminatory. He's just shown as this character who sticks at home, who gives advice. And even if people make fun of him, right? They're outside. His own family kind of sides them, telling him that, no, you're an important person in the family. Don't really, give any fuck about what people say about you and all. But I'm a bit, I'm not really 100% convinced by that, but I found that to be a little more sensitive.
Okay. But do they explicitly say that the character is gay or?
No.
Okay.
He's just an effeminate male.
Okay.
But they throw around references like he can never get married to a girl, or likes doing household work. It's definitely cringy, I say, but better than say better. I just remember that.
Basically, that's probably normalizing somebody who is effeminate, but without the negative layer that movies try to have.
Yeah.
Literally,
it was a part of their family.
Bringing it.
It was a part of their family and all that.
Nice.
I just remember that randomly.
Okay, so long-running show. Tamil
6-7 years, yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
I just remembered it, and I know this didn't come up in our discussion. So
what do you think is your favorite Indian? If you have to pick one representation.
I like My Brother Nikhil for all the good reasons we discussed, because they also handle HIV very sensitively.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, HIV AIDS. And later, Kapoor and Sons was okay, but still I'm not a big fan of Karan
Fahad?
Johar. He was the one.
Oh, I thought Fahad.
Was
I thought he
Khan
was
okay? I mean, yeah, I
Dude,
was a good big
you
fan.
said he's hot, and now you're saying he's okay. What is
He's hot. I mean, I'm just talking about the producer. I mean, the maker of the movie. I'm not a big fan of Karan Johar, but the role was pretty good. Like, I mean, handled well, and Made in Heaven. Probably these three.
Yeah. I mean, I think somewhere for me, I still have a list of movies that I want to watch, which in the trailer look like good representation. Like the one that I was talking about, Rajat Kapoor and Manisha, Do Paise Ki Dhoop, Charane Ka Barish. This is like fairly recent, and from what I can gather in the trailer, it looks nice. So, but I think for me, the I don't know if it's because I saw it just a couple of weeks back, but what I saw, the movie or the representation in Memories in March was quite well, because I can relate the character that Rupanito, which they play, to people who I know in the community. So quite elder, effeminate. They're like a creative director in their company, so quite knows their shit and knows how to draw boundaries. I know a couple of people like that, so made it a little more close to me, I would say. So I would say Memories in March was one of the ones that I really liked. And I think even that movie, the Arvind Swami's movie, was done well.
Yeah, that
done
was
quite
okay,
sensitive. Yeah, so I think, I mean, I can't pick anything from South, although I'm a person from South.
South really needs to get its ball game together. I mean, it needs to get its game together.
Minus Kerala. Kerala has, I think, I want to watch Muthan, but I'm not getting subtitles anywhere. So you've seen Dear no? What did you think?
Yeah, I liked it. It was a sensitive portrayal, though. I think I liked the way the focus was more on the relationship between the father and son rather than only the sexuality.
Yeah.
So I think it was done well, and I hope to see more of that kind of stuff in South. Yeah.
Yeah, sensitive portrayal, and Arvind Swami is fairly hot also, so he can do.
Yeah, not my
your
type. But no, but in another sense, I mean, Tamil cinema, at least I expect more from it, because they did go away back in 2010, but like nothing else after that. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. So that would be a wrap for today. Any last points, Kaushik?
No, I mean, I like the discussion we had because it was pretty close to my, my sensibilities while growing up. And and I hope to see nice stuff in the future. And I definitely see next 5 years, maybe 2025, we talk about this. I'm sure there'll be a few more films of, mention that.
Yeah, I think next time we do the same topic, we should do for 1 decade, what we've had in the last decade. Or hopefully, 5 years.
Yeah, but I'm also equally worried that nothing will change. And I don't know. Let's see. We can be hopeful. Yeah. So also people before I conclude, there is a lot of good art films, which have been made on the subject, which are not available commercially, but if we can do a bit of research or dig it up, right, in the film circuit and all. If people are interested, they can definitely check them out.
Yeah, there are a lot of spaces, especially I think on Vimeo. You just have to look for short films. I'm sure you'll find, especially in the international circuit, Indian circuit also you'll find, but then I think they are harder to get, not free at least. Yeah, so hope we've entertained and educated you with our, I don't know, we've crossed 40 minutes I think this time. So, so this is Deepti signing off.
And this is Kaushik. Hope we meet next time with another interesting topic.
Yes. So
okay, bye.
Take care, stay hydrated, and mask up.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.